so excited to have you today in my kitchen. I like to kind of call this kitchen table wisdom. This is where I do some of my best thinking and coaching work. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm surrounded by food that I love or the oven, the smells, just the bigness of this room, but it's one of my favorite spaces in my house to kind of center myself. And so I thought this would be a great space to record this video in particular because today we are going to be talking about goals and my 3-prong tiered way that I like to set goals. This has been coming up a whole lot in my world, this idea of setting goals and achieving goals and a way to continue to follow through with the goals that we may or may not have already had in place. And so I've been taking myself through this goal setting exercise for the last maybe 4 or 5 years. And I recently put it together and put like all my New Year's planning or any time that I'm ready to set a goal. It really doesn't have to be New Year's. I'm a firm believer that every day is a new beginning. But I put it into a book, and I just want to share with you the 3 exercises in here that I think are going to help you slay your goals. And so, super easy breezy, short video. I want to get this in, get you out so you can get started and actually get working on your goals. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to brain dump all your goals. So what I mean by that is, so often when we sit down to come up with like 3 or 5 or 7 really big goals that we want to accomplish in the year, we get all of this internal mental crap chatter about all the things that we want to do in our whole entire life, right? And so starting from that space of like all this noise and commotion really does a disservice when it comes to honing in and zeroing in on what we really need to focus on to make this the best year ever. And so to get rid of all that mental crap chatter, what I like to do is called an exercise called 101 Goals. And this just so happens to be a free downloadable in the video description below. So I actually have the piece of the book that this comes in. So you're actually gonna get the exercise. Can you see it? The exercise. And so what this 101 goals exercise does is that it helps get out all the noise and onto paper. So it gets out, say for instance, one of my goals was to sign with my perfect book agent. That may or may not be one of my 7 to 10 goals, main focus for 2019. It just so happens that it is, but this right here, post at least 1 time a week to my YouTube channel. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but that's not one of my main focal points. Go skating with my wife. These are all things that when I start to sit down and think about what are the big things that I really want to focus on, this is the stuff that distracts me. This is a shiny object syndrome. This is the stuff that makes me go, oh, well, I want to write and finish Drag Queen's Guide to Biz. These are all the things that I have going on in my head when I'm trying to narrow down and focus on those few essential things that are going to help me move forward in 2019. So part 1, section 1, tier 1, whatever you want to call it, is brain dump, get 101 goals down on paper, empty your mind, get the crap chatter out, and let's move on. Once we have all of this out of our brain and brain dumped onto paper, what I like to do is kind of hone all of that energy in, right? We've been really out and expansive, and I like to bring it back in with the question that guides me every single year. What is it that I really want? So step 2 in this goal setting process is to ask yourself, what do you really want? And this is also in the book, and I'm just going to read you a little bit because I think this really kind of zeroes in on what we're trying to get at. What do you really want for yourself? This is part 1. What do you really want for yourself, for your life, for your creativity, for your biz, whatever it is you're trying to do? Without knowing our destination, we will never be able to measure how much further we have to go. Or, and this is so important, how much we've already traveled, right? Because we've already done some traveling, but without having a way to measure it, we have no idea. Take a moment and answer this question now. What do you really, really want? Everything that comes next feeds out of how you answer this one question. So how we hone in on our 3 to 7 to 10 goals comes from within this question. It comes from getting tighter after we've done all this expansive work. It can be as simple as what I really, really want is freedom, or my time is my own, or to make enough money off my art to support myself and my family, or something as big and bold as I want to make $1 million this year. And just between us, that's my goal. We all want something. It's what drives us to do and go to the job we love or we hate. It is the hope of this something that keeps our head above water whenever we feel like we are drowning. And that happens a lot, especially if you're new to this creative entrepreneur world. So don't confuse this what do you really, really want with your big why, right? You know, everybody's like, oh, Simon Sinek, power of why. Don't confuse that with this. Or anything really. This is really a simple question of digging into your gut and finding out what already exists in there. And remember, what you want will change, right? What we are trying to find out is not your forever what do you really, really want. It's what you want, what will drive you now, today. So my beautiful people, step 2, ask yourself what you really, really want. Take out a piece of paper, write down your answer. Let's go. Last and final is to take everything that we've done, the expansion and the small, what do we really, really want, and start to formulate those into our top. I do 7 to 10 goals. I really do about 7 a year, but then I break those up into which ones I want to accomplish in what quarter. And so the way that I come up with these 7 to 10 goals is I take the work that I've done with my 101 goals, I take what I really, really want, and then I just sit and kind of percolate on all this information of my dreams and goals that I have in front of me. And I just do a little goal play. I set a timer for about 10 minutes, sometimes a little bit more. And let me see if I can find this in here for you real quick. I just start shooting the shit on paper, right? Goal play right here. Just start playing and combining everything that you have together and see if there are themes that start coming up. Maybe you see that 4 or 5 of your what do you really want and your 101 goals really go under the theme or umbrella of learning a new language. One of my 7 goals was I want to learn Spanish before the end of this year. So start seeing if you could vet out themes and things and connections between things as you start playing with what you laid down with what you really, really want, which is your funnel. That's your focus that we're focusing all those 101 things into, and see if you can come up with a solid 7 to 10 goals. Those are the goals that you are going to use to guide you throughout the rest of 2019. And what I suggest you do is once you've whittled it down to your 7 to 10 goals, type it up, print it out, put it someplace where you can read it and see it every single day. Biggest thing that I have done for my personal transformation this last year is reviewing my goals, my big 7 to 10 goals on a daily basis. But not just reviewing them, right? You also need to celebrate when you win. So, like for example, sorry, I'm making lots of noise here. I recently, one of my big annual goals, right here, I don't know if you can see that, is to release YouTube channel with at least 3 content videos, which I only got to 2, but you know what? It's still better than none. In this first quarter, right? Before February 1st. And I actually achieved that goal. That was one of my 7 to 10 big goals. And I gave myself, can you see this? A gold star. Yay. And so this, what that does is it helps you to see not only where you're going, but also, you know how I read that earlier? It measures where you've been. Because what happens is, as we progress throughout the year, we start feeling like we're not on track, or if we get stuck somewhere, we feel like, oh my God, my goals that I started off with a new year aren't going anywhere. But if you have this sheet of goals set before you, and as you do even minute things on each one, you start ticking it off. You have a visual representation of everything that you've accomplished, which is always more than what we think we do, right? We're creatives. We are visual people, so we need to have some kind of marker that shows we are making progress. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep feeling like shit. I hope that you've enjoyed this quick little 3 steps to setting goals. If you like this video, just like it, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Tell me your biggest takeaway. What is one of your big goals? I mean, you already know one of mine was to start this YouTube channel, and I did, yay! Let me celebrate with you. Tell me one of your big goals in the comments below. I can't wait to see you next week right here. Maybe we'll be in my kitchen. Maybe we'll be in my drag room. Maybe we'll be in the couch. I don't know. I like to keep it floating because I like different energy at different times. But right now, I love you. I love your energy. Keep doing you flawlessly. Love you.